Thank you very much, Ines. Does this sound okay?
Yes.
Okay.
We hear you very well, Cornelius. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Thank you for the introduction, and thanks for this opportunity to share what we did in the Netherlands regarding the implementation of electronic invoices. First, I would like to say a little bit about PIANOo. PIANOo is a unit within the Ministry of Economic Affairs, so we are a public entity. But we are not a purchasing entity ourselves. So we are an expertise center for public procurement, both in the pre-award and the post-award. And we assist or help or give guidance to all the contracting authorities in the Netherlands on how to perform and excel in doing their public procurement. Maybe I can share a bit about the context in the Netherlands. Next slide, please. Can I have the next slide, please?
Sorry, Cornelius. You can actually pass on the slides from your side.
Okay. Let me see.
On the top, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. All right.
Can you also please speak a bit louder? I hear that some people have problems hearing you.
I will try to be as clear as possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
This was the introduction to myself. You can see me here, and I'm about to give a context of the situation in the Netherlands. We transposed the European directives as is in our Dutch Procurement Act, so it's part of our normal procurement regulation. And we implemented as is, so it means that it is mandatory for Dutch contracting authorities to receive and process the electronic invoices. We didn't add to that it's also mandatory for businesses to send it, so it's only on the receiving part, just as the European directives. It is for all Dutch contracting authorities, both central, local, and we chose just one deadline, so we did not use the extension. We only have one deadline, and that is April next year. Then all Dutch contracting authorities should be able to receive and process the electronic invoices. What does this mean? We already, since long time, have a semantic standard for an electronic invoice. It was called SMEF. What we did is we updated that invoice and we turned it into a Dutch NL SIAS based on European norm, of course. And we did that to avoid a lot of different sizes in the Netherlands. So it is just to have this one semantic standard, and it is on our list of standards, and every contracting authority is obliged to use that according to the comply or explain principle. So it means we have one SIAS, and we will use this both for business to government and also for business. In 2017, it was mandated for central government already receive and process the invoices, and it was also in the contracting conditions. I'm sorry, I see that there is still a comment about my. I'm not sure how I can improve it. I'm as close as I can to my microphone. And sorry. I will just try to speak loud.
Hi Cornelius. Just to say that was actually that comment came before we mentioned it to you, so I think we should be okay. But we appreciate the effort you're making. I hear you very well.
Okay, then I will continue. I was about to say that for the central government in 2017, January 2017, there already was an agreement, and this was in the purchasing conditions to the suppliers, that they are obliged to send electronic invoices to central government. So from 2017 on, you see that the invoices, the amount of invoices electronically sent to central government is rising, and we are now above 50% that is fully exempt electronically. This was for new contracts, so you will see whenever framework agreements are, opened up again after 3 years, then you have new contracts. So gradually we will grow into this 100% electronic invoices. It was a different story for local government. When my unit started, so that was 2016, the amount of electronic invoices, or the level of electronic invoices sent to local government, was about 5%. So it really was at the beginning. Okay. And then my unit was I got the assignment to assist local government, so it's municipalities, provinces, assist them in the uptake of this mandate. So we had like 3 years to help all the local authorities to do this transition from, most it was paper-based. There was some PDFs sent by email to this fully electronic situation. Just to give you the scope, we have 12 provinces. We have a governing layer in the Netherlands. It's related to water management. We call it water boards, 28 of them. And we have about 380 municipalities. And if you include all the other contracting authorities like schools, universities, hospitals, musea, then it's about 1,200 more of them. So that was the scope of my my assignment. I needed to help all these local authorities with this transition. And the challenge was to bring them up to 100% within 3 years. And it was a small unit. We had like 4.6 FTE and an annual budget of 600,000. What we did, we started in 2016, and at that point in time, there was that was like a standstill. Nobody really moved. Why? Because there was too much options within electronic invoices. We had debates about can I send an email with an electronic invoice or a PDF? Is scanning a PDF and then transforming it into an XML, is that an already fulfilling the obligation? Shall we all use the central government hub also in the local authorities? Or shall we do something else? So there was a lot of discussion and a lot of things to choose from. And we used this first year to guide and to make the choices and to narrow all these options into a very clear path. What is the future like? And we didn't do that all by ourselves. We had an expert group, around 50 people in the Netherlands, helped us there based on contracting authorities and businesses, and all the service providers were there, and also academics. So together we had this discussion, and this all within a year boiled down to a very clear future. I think that was really important to have a clear set on what shall we do. And all this information, we gathered it, and we wrote it down, and we had these guidelines, and we published it all on our website. And we also had a help desk. We still have a help desk. You can call, you can write us emails, and then we will provide you with the information. So the first year was about setting the direction. Still no change in this 5%. So the first year it was still very low. There was no adoption because there was no techniques, too much techniques available. So 2017 was about, okay, now we have chosen the direction. Now we can develop our tools. We can start working on the technical part of this challenge. And there the CEF helped us very much. We wrote a proposal. In this proposal, we had like 9 service providers operating in the Netherlands for local authorities. They all joined this proposal. And by choosing the CEF project, it means that we narrowed down all the options to, it is using e-delivery, so it's using the PEPL network. In the Netherlands, it's called simpler invoicing. That is the the transport that we will use. We have to implement the new EN, the norm for invoices. So that was narrowed down, and now I have the opportunity to guide or steer all these service providers in the Netherlands in developing their e-invoices technique. So after 2017, at the end of the year, the project was finished. It was successful. So we had all these e-invoicing modules all doing the same thing, and now the service provider were offering their services to local authorities. So now it was just about ordering the e-invoice module, and then you can start. At the same time, the service providers was working on their part. My unit was working on the awareness and on the information. So what we did is we went traveling in the Netherlands to all the municipalities and stuff. We had about 13 of these road shows where we had like 5, 6 municipalities joining together, and we explained to them. This was really intense sessions, like 3 hours. We explained to them what is the what is the regulation, what technical options you have, what do you need to do onboarding, how can you set up a project. So we gave them all the information they need to set up their project. And I think this was helpful as well, because after 2017, I think we spoke to like 70% of all local authorities. We were there, so this was a very intense way of talking to them. We also set up a monitor. There's a link there, so if you have the presentation, you can check the monitor. And this is I'm sharing the monitor, so we have 3 maps of the Netherlands. The first one is all the municipalities, second one the water boards, and the third one the provinces. And we monitor where they are, what their status are. So starting with the green part, that's a done deal. They are ready. They are able to receive the invoices, so they are done. And then the blue part is piloting, implementing, project available. So you can see that the provinces and the water boards are now, they are on their way. Yeah, they will probably be ready in time. And for the municipalities, well, we still have a lot of work to do there. All the projects are already in place, so they are working with this obligation, but still some work to do there. This is the status of our monitor in September this year. So this is the actual status of where they are. Okay, so 2016 was about making the choice how the future will look like. 2017 was building the modules. So now all the techniques are available, no issues there. So 2018 is about now we are entering into the harvesting what we sow. So this year is about using the invoices, and we need to help or assist or help the service providers to market their e-invoicing modules. Obviously, being from public entity, I can't do any marketing myself, but I can at least help them in making their voices heard. So what we do is we organized something like a market fair, which is a matchmaking exercise between service providers and local authorities, and giving the opportunity to service providers to market their products, to market their e-invoicing module. And this helps. We had 2 of these fairs now, and it's about 100 people showing up, and it helps the choices for the contracting authority, helps them making the choice. This year we will have another CEF project, and it's not about the technical part, that's a done deal. Now we're working on the onboarding part. So what we will do is we have a list of 1,000 businesses that does business with local authorities, and we will onboard the 1,000 businesses onto the simpler invoicing network. And when they are all on the network, then they can start sending their invoices to all the municipalities and provinces that already connected to the network. So this is to get the invoice flow started. I think it's very important. If we don't do this, probably nothing will happen because it is not a if you're technical ready, it doesn't mean that the invoices start flowing automatically. You have to do the onboarding part, which is very important. So we will help local authorities there as well. And just want to tell you one last thing that we did in 2018 as well. We recently had a big conference, September the 12th, where the minister responsible for digitalization, so responsible for the uptake of the e-invoice, presented the implementation status of all the contracting authorities. So he presented actually the monitor. And what we did is the minister first sent a letter, this was June, to all the local authorities, showing or telling them that this obligation is upon them. Within a year they should be ready, and asking them if they can inform us, PIANOo, what the implementation status is. So they all send us their information, we update the monitor, and then we had the minister presenting the status on a conference. And on this conference we also had other speakers, someone from the Confederation of the Netherlands Industry and Employers, so from the businesses side, stressing the importance of the invoice. We had Mr. Hodevik from Open Peppol explaining the benefits of a network approach and why Open Peppol or simpler invoicing is that important. We shared a video with best practices. It's now available on our website, and we also presented, that is me presenting the booklet to the minister of practices, implementation practices in the Netherlands. And well, this is obviously all. The theme of this conference was called Pannenbier. Pannenbier, it's a Dutch term. It means it's a tradition. It's from the construction area. When the building that you are constructing reaches the highest top. So when we are about to finish the highest top, at the top of the building. The building is not finished, but we reached the highest point. That is called Pannenbier, and it is normally the contractor provides beer to all the workers. So it's a bit of a celebration. That was the theme of our event. We are not finished yet. You still need to finish the whole building. There's a lot to do. But it is unavoidable, unmistakable. It is there. The building is there. Everything is visible, and we will not go back. So that was the idea of this event. And I think all the stories that we had built or strengthened that idea. All right. Last slide, just to conclude. What I think was key to success in the Netherlands in the uptake of the invoice for local authorities. It was the use of a network. I think that's very important. We didn't choose to build our own central hub and forced all the contracting authorities, local municipalities to use our system. We worked with the market. It means that it is scalable. The access points can grow, the service providers can grow, customers can grow. There is no there's no bottlenecks. What you see if you have one single point. It is service oriented. I think that's also very important. When you're unhappy with one service provider, you can choose another one. We see that this happens. We see this happens in practice. We see that some excel in their services and others are slow. But luckily, you can choose. So you just choose and go to somewhere else. And I think it's very important. It's affordable. Normally, if you have these projects and you try to build something yourself, then we're talking about millions on central government in developing these tools. And with a network solution, it's the customers that pay. They pay for their invoice module. You saw my budget is reasonably small. Scalable, service-oriented, and affordable. Okay, that was my story. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any choices or any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Cornelis, for sharing this presentation with us. It was very useful, a lot of information there. I'm sure that that will be useful for the participants here at the webinar. Thank you very much for being here with us today. I don't know if anyone has any question for Cornelius right now.
Maybe about the image.
Maybe we can allow some questions now, if you have any. Otherwise, we can move directly to Lynn's presentation. Okay, so I'll pass the floor to Lynn.